Hello everybody, my name is Shortline819 and I'm not actually at my stream right now. Oh there, hello, there I am. Hello everybody, my name is Shortline819. Welcome back to Railroader. I'm here by myself. Uh, hold up. Starting stream. Gotta... Hello Gam, welcome in. I am here by myself, but I am gonna, continue to play Railroader. We had just skipped the day. So, I got a lot on my plate, I guess. Future Southern Pacific CEO. Yes, I'm going to become the CEO of the merged Union Pacific Norfolk Southern system, which of course will be called Southern Pacific. There is a Shortline Rail News and comment video. I mean, I did make like a little video from my closet that I later deleted because I was embarrassed by it, but I do have a video that is scripted and written out and is basically ready to go to be edited, and I'm going to do that tomorrow, among other things like cleaning, but, yeah, I guess welcome back to Railroader. I guess the main thing... I am still... I don't know, I came home from the weekend. Maybe it's just because this is just what happens now. But I came home from the weekend, for the weekend, and now I feel slightly sick. The stream was supposed to start earlier, however, I needed to have dinner first, so... I don't know how long of a stream it's gonna be, but... Okay, so... I guess the first thing that we are going to do is deal with this train. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take a little RS1. Hello, SR Driver 1965. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. And... oh wait, hold up before I move. I actually need to move backwards. Because I'm the only one here, I have to sort of prioritize, and that is going to be getting this train switched and out to Bryson. You're welcome, yes.
What the dog doing?
What the dog is doing? Well, the dogs are... oh, hello, Spud. Welcome in. The dogs are not here, unfortunately, but also the camera's the other way around, so you just see my camera. No dogs. Just an empty bed. Leo and Bear are not here. No dogs guaranteed from that, unfortunately, but I'm sure they will be in here at some point in the future. Okay. Here we go. Alrighty. How's everyone's day been? My day's been... okay. Went to work. Work was one of those days where you have a list of things you want to get done, but you start on them, but you can never finish one particular thing for whatever reason or another. I think I only maybe completed, like... I barely completed all of my tasks at work today, and that was slightly infuriating, but I came home, I recorded a video, and now I'm here. It's decent on dinner break at work. Nice. I just had dinner. My dad brought home barbecue, which was really nice. But now I'm here, get to sleep in. RS1s are really nice. I quite like the look of RS1s. I feel weirdly stuffy, I don't know why. And that is part of the reason why the stream was slightly late today, because I, as I said, came home from My dad brought home dinner, and it was slightly after the time I said I would stream. I have actually received some new art, which I will show off in a bit once I'm out on the road, I guess. Once I'm done with the switching. Peach made me a little like plush doll of my character. It was very cute, and she made it for free too, which was really nice. But I am also getting new emotes, which shall be here in, you know, whenever they're done. So that'll be nice. Expect new shortline emotes with the slightly updated character design. Shortline Fumo. I mean, it's not a Fumo, but it's kind of close. Like some rare myself after work. Name my rare is always late. I like instilling confidence in my customers. I see. Hello, all is glory. Welcome in. I am... Hold up. The best way of doing this switching maneuver. I'm actually going to dump the cars, the East Weir cars, here. I'll actually dump them up here. Where the fuck did these two come from? Ep Springs? Oh, these were from yesterday, or last week. Okay, that makes sense. 17 miles an hour in a yard, and we're fine. Up. And I forgot to flip a switch, but that's besides the point. Oh yes, so, another sort of happening is I won a video contest. I made a video on my main YouTube channel, about the Washington Old Dominion Railroad, and it's one of my favorite little short lines, and what happens if it would survive, and I entered it into the Classy Whale DC Dreaming Contest, which was basically make a video about anything train related, train or transit related in the DC area. And I submitted this video, and apparently I won the contest. So, that means I get free... It's in partnership... The competition was in partnership with the National Capital Trolley Museum. So, apparently, I get free entry into the Trolley Museum, along with my video featured in an exhibit, and a goodie bag full of merch. Unfortunately, that is something that I have to physically pick up, it looks like. But the problem is, I don't live in DC anymore. I live in Atlanta, or Savannah, depending on the time of the year. Congratulations. Yes, thank you. So I asked Caleb, Classy Whale, if I could send someone to like pick it up for me, and he says I'll get back to you on that. So I guess I'll have to see. But we'll see. Okay, these cars switched out. But yeah, it's like a bunch of merch. It's and like goodie bags and a couple of books and all that cool stuff. So I would really like to claim that. And of course, he has another video contest on, which is like a 5-minute contest with a week-long deadline. Like, I'm not entering in that. I mean, I am making a video right now, but it's not something I can enter into another contest. What should I build in KSP? You know what, Spud? Build Lunar... I think I told you this before, and I said Surveyor. Build, like, Lunar Orbiter. Lunar Orbiter program. If not that, build a KH-9 spy satellite. Plus, you get an exhibit. Yeah, the video is will be featured in an exhibit along with some other people's videos as well. Including 29. He also got into the category where it'll be featured in an exhibit too, so. I don't know what the exhibit's actually going to be. I think it's just going to be like I actually would have no idea what the exhibit would be, because our videos are so varied. Let me see what Lunar Orbiter looks like again. Yeah, yeah. Uh... So... Oh, let's see. What I find really funny about Lunar Orbiter, my Louding Gateway Shrine, what I find really funny about the Lunar Orbiter program is that the cameras from it were taken from the KH-7 Gambit spy satellite program. And in order to release the images to the Lunar Orbiter images to the public, NASA had to intentionally downgrade the quality as to not give away national secrets. So. Alrighty. A few streams in a row I've mentioned spy satellites, but I don't know if that'll become a theme or not, but... Okay, coupled up. Release. East Whittier repair track. I mean, I can just... Well, let me simplify this switching so I don't have to make a bajillion maneuvers. Hubble telescope chassis moment. I mean, the Hubble Space Telescope's chassis is from a KH-11 Canon, so... And then I think the mirror from the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope is also one off of a spy satellite. But that's off of a modern spy satellite, not one from the 70s, so it's something we know nothing about. But, don't quote me on that. That's just me trying to remember something. Okay. I'm just gonna tack these Robinson Gap cars onto this train and then do a bit more switching. Oh yeah, I should also probably get the passenger train running. That's probably something that I should do. Okay, Robinson Gap, L. Smith Manufacturing, Alarka. I mean, we'll do all of this sorting when we get to when this gets to Bryson. Oh shit, I recognize these propellant tanks on Lunar Orbiter. There's a restock part model, which I just realized is based off of them. Oh yeah, okay, that's cool. I do want to play more KSP. I have other priorities right now. Because I was thinking, like, you know how some people do, I get it, life happens, yeah. But you know how some people have, like, forever worlds in Minecraft? What if I try the same thing with KSP? Because it's not like the game is getting any more updates at this point after the absolute Take-Two's absolute bungling of, well, everything KSP related. Well, to be fair, the last couple of KSP updates under KSP 1 updates under Take-Two were actually pretty good, but everything subsequently. It's like, a KSP Forever world would be kind of fun to do. Just see how far I get. You do it with, like, a heavily modded career save. I've never really been someone to do career mode, if I'm gonna be honest. I've never liked career mode. I've tried to do it. I don't know. Because the way I've always done KSP is I've always done it like I have like a certain goal in mind, and then if I'm doing like a quote-unquote like progression save where I start off small and build bigger, I always do it like try and mimic like the actual space program and not do it with the parts that you're sort of restricted in career or science mode or whatever. Okay, East Whittier repair track. I see. Yeah, yeah. Something I do wish though is I do wish there was a way to I guess I could just do like a career mode save and then just max out like funding and all that kind of stuff and my tech tree instantly, but doing it in a way where you still have the contract system where, you know, you still have to launch like 'cause, you know, there are contracts which like launch a satellite to this orbit. It's like, okay, maybe then at that point I can run a basically a commercial launch enterprise in KSP. EJ did something similar. Hello, Spinner Tornado 94. Welcome in. Yeah. I am. I said, don't know how long the stream is going to be. I am slightly tired. We will see. We will see. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave these here for now for someone else to deal with later on down the road. Because I honestly don't care right now about any of these cars. My main goal is to just get things where they need to be in like a broad sense. I will actually go ahead and grab the Ep Springs cars though. Those need to go out. And yeah, truth be told, a forever save is something I've considered. I've just told myself, more or less, my forever install the other day and stop trying to tweak my mod list. Yeah, I need to settle on a mod list. I know, Spud, you sent me like the restock, just the restock and restock plus. Probably restock plus and like a bunch of visual mods and maybe some of the near future mods, and that would be it. That would be Bitter Tornado 94. I think that's just a I wouldn't say that's it's gotten crazier because of that. I would just say that's the default like scenario. That's a part of the UPNS, that whole scenario. If it goes down, a BNSF CSX counter merger is just the default. That's like the full package right there. Because there's no way that they just wouldn't do that. They'd need that to live. I am making a video on this, which will be up hopefully sometime next week. Okay. What I'm gonna do is we are going to do a little bit of funny, and we're gonna fly switch because, fuck, I don't know. We're pulling a Pat. I could tweak mine slightly, but you know, like basically send it over. It's basically Nurture's visual mods plus support rescale, which I could easily crop out. I mean, I could just send you like a list of the mods that I want, and you could just make a proper like CCAN install. Well, let's go ahead and bleed out these cars. All right, yeah, because I use a specific set of visual mods and whatnot that and like some of the near future stuff, but not all, and a couple of quality of life things, and you know. And as I said, I'd want to, knowing KSP load times with mods. Maybe we can merge all the trains together so it doesn't become Monopoly US government. Monopoly US government would own. We'd call it Amtrak. Nothing worse than a government-created monopoly, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I foresaw a major East-West merger for a long time, and everyone dismissed it. Not anymore. It's still finally interesting to see what will happen in real time. Same. Honestly, with the major east-west mergers is something that we should have done in the late 70s. We were close to that. Um, if only if only SP managed to strike a deal with the family lines like they wanted to, but couldn't do because this is SP in the late 70s. It sounded funny. Yeah, it does sound funny. uh, See, my sort of philosophy with this sort of thing is, um, the ideal scenario, in my opinion, would be you have like 3 or 4 different railroads that all blanket the country. There wouldn't be a location, at least a major market, where you only have one railroad or maybe even 2 railroads. And they'd all blanket the country, so there's no like need, well, significantly reduced need for interchange and stuff like that. And, you know, with like reciprocal switching and stuff like that. But I know that's not going to happen. So the next best solution is just you have the 2, I guess, duopolies, which I guess if we're seriously talking about this would be Union Pacific Norfolk Southern and CSX BNSF. And then you have like the reciprocal switching in place so customers have options and like give the Canadian railroads a bunch of like trackage rights and other lines to better compete as well. That's what I hope happens. I don't know if that's going to happen. Of course, all of this could just fizzle out and nothing could happen, but that's the nothing ever happens club. I doubt the UPNS merger will get very far, but if BNSF and CSX may try something that they might allow it. Yeah. Why are you moving? I don't know. Union Pacific, from what I've seen, seems pretty dead set, and what this has going for it compared to some other previous attempts, I'm more thinking the attempts with Canadian Pacific and Hunter Harrison back in the mid-2010s, is that Norfolk Southern at least seems willing this time around. And I mentioned this more in the video that I'm working on about this, but you have to remember that rail mergers are fundamentally an exercise in politics. And whether or not, obviously if it gets to the point where UP and NS are agreeing to a merger, and then obviously CSX and BNSF agree to a merger, they together have to present a damn good political case to the regulators and the public about why this should go through. If they don't do that, then it's completely doomed. And one of the things I actually do mention in the video is that, interestingly enough, if we do end up in this sort of merger scenario, transit could actually benefit from this, because it would be a way for Amtrak and various transit agencies to wrestle away concessions from the Class 1s that they wouldn't otherwise be able to get. And that could, you know, maybe smooth over some of the politicians. Good night for now, take care. Well, thank you, Spud. Please send me pictures of your KSP, if you're doing Lunar Orbiter, of course. I will see you around. Alright, Ep Springs. Robinson Gap. Alright, we're gonna couple up to this train. I like the idea of UPNS partially due to the potential Steam program. The logical... Okay, so we all know that if this happens, it's going to be called Union Pacific. However, I'm still holding out hope that they go with the perfect name for this merger, which of course is Southern Pacific. Come on, it would be so... Watch as they keep that abandoned rail in Northtown Alexandria. I mean, maybe the city of Alexandria lobs a thing towards the STB saying, hey, can we buy this? I'd be more interested in any hypothetical merger scenario in seeing what specifically the Canadians ask for, Where is... Where are you? Switch against. Where are you? Oh, you're still... Well, did Railroader just crash? My game froze. Oh no. Probably would have autosaved, but... Yeah, I'm more... I guess my point is, I am more interested in seeing, in any hypothetical scenario, what the Canadian railroads and various short line and regional railroads would think of this and would ask for. Because, like... Because on the one hand, you could... I'm gonna have to force close Railroader. Uh, because on the one hand, like... The Canadians networks, the Canadian Railroads networks in the United States specifically... Hold up, I'm force closing the game and I'm relaunching it. They're more north-south, but there are lines that are more east-west oriented. Like, CPKC's Meridian Speedway basically acts as a conduit between UP and NS. So would Union Pacific, would a merged... I'm just going to call the railroad Southern Pacific because funny. Would a merged Southern Pacific try and, like, starve out CPKC on the Speedway or something like that? Right? Would the Canadians ask for a lot of concessions? Because here's the thing. If you're talking about UP NS specifically, there are places where there's one location where oh, okay. There is one location where they do parallel, and that's between Kansas City, St. Louis, and Chicago, with the ex-Mopac CE&I and the ex-Wabash. Let me bring this up, actually. Let's bring up Railguide. So, I'm just thinking, like, that would 100% have to be sold as any merger condition. Hold up, current... Yeah. So, like here's the ex-Wabash, Kansas City, St. Louis, and then they have trackage rights up to Chicago, and then obviously the Union Pacific with the Mopac, Kansas City, St. Louis, and then the CE&I and the Alton, too, up to Chicago. So if this merger goes through, they're going to have to sell one of these lines. Probably the Wabash. This is lower capacity. Probably the Canadian National, because, you know, Canadian National has had plenty of interest in trying to get to Kansas City recently. But I'm also, like, thinking, like, okay, would, like, the Canadian railroads want rights expanded in the U.S. market, right? Like, do we get a scenario where frickin' CPKC goes to Florida or something? Yeah, those few places. Gotta get back to work. Maybe we'll catch you all in half an hour again. Good luck with work, Gam. Yeah, if it does happen, there are a few places where NS and UP could become major corridors. I mean, that's just generally true. Like, maybe they, because here's the thing, though, right? Because one sort of weakness in Union Pacific is they don't have a direct Kansas City to Chicago route like BNSF does over the former Santa Fe. They either have to go up via Des Moines, via the mid-continent route, and then west on the C&W, which is long. Or they have to go on the Mopac and then up the Alton or CE&I, which is, you have to go through St. Louis, which is capacity constrained. They do have trackage rights on some of these lines, but they're kind of limited. So, do we have a scenario where, like, Union Pacific would, or the merged railroad would have to sell this line between, like, the Wabash, but they would, like, keep trackage rights on it, or, like, some sort of joint ownership to finally have that Chicago-Kansas City route? I'll be right back, by the way. I need to let my dog in. Okay, we are back, and we have, if it would focus, we have, why is it not, why is my webcam horribly out of focus all of a sudden? There we go. There they are, the dogs. Leo and Bear have arrived, as they should. Yeah, okay. Let's see. I guess I'll get back to Railroader. Um yeah, I lost my train of thought. Mergers, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see, because I guess another factor you have to consider, and I don't mention this in my video because I'm sort of waiting to see what happens so I can make more videos, is you have to remember that BNSF is owned by Berkshire Hathaway, who has a bajillion dollars. So could there be a scenario where BNSF thinks that NS is a better fit for them and outbids UP for BNSF or NS? In the Atlantic. I could see Wabash being a huge intermodal traffic line. Of course, one of the effects of merger would be a direct connection from one port to another, almost completely on their own tracks. Yeah, because, as I said, on the one hand, I think they're going to have to sell one of their lines between Kansas City, St. Louis, and Chicago as a condition. On the other hand, if they somehow manage to keep it, it would be like a perfect intermodal route. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe they don't sell it, but they do like a joint arrangement with like CN as like a condition or something. Let's see. Okay. Equipment, let's see, road. Alright, this thing is gonna go on its way. I need to make sure that these switches are set because, let me go ahead and save the game here, actually, just in case, because I'm a bit paranoid now. Let's see. Are the switches in, what's it called, set? Bryson? No? Okay, well. And to be fair, if this does somehow happen, and that's still a big if, but I guess my, what would a merged BNSF CSX be called? The jumbled letter railroad? I don't know. No, you could call it Atlantic and Pacific. That was a Santa Fe predecessor. Santa Fe and Frisco predecessor. Actually. Or maybe they just call, like, bring back the name for the aborted BNSF Canadian National merger and just call it, like, North American Railways or something boring like that. It'd be funny if they just kept it BN. BNSF. Bring back War Bonnet, dang it. I don't know. Okay. Astro Train is doing its thing. Astro Train is doing its thing. Freight Train is doing its thing. The next sort of step is... I think I left the log train up here. Do I want to do the log train right now? Probably not. BNSF and NS can't merge due to monopoly laws. They've tried before. Well, BNSF... Okay. The... Of course, not a lawyer, but I do work for a Class 1 in Canada. BNSF... Okay, so... Back during the... What you're talking about is back during the Conrail split. This was when CSX and Conrail had announced their merger, but NS hadn't yet started, you know, basically trying to drive up the price that CSX would cost to buy Conrail in order to force a split. BNSF did approach NS about a merger. However, NS turned it down. They basically said no. It never actually got to the point of getting anywhere near the Surface Transportation Board. And that's the thing. I see a lot of people saying, like, oh, well, they turned down... Well, they did indirectly turn down CN, BNSF, but kind of in... It's like, oh, they turned down Canadian Pacific's attempts to buy Norfolk Southern and Canadian Pacific's attempts to buy CSX. I'm like, well, technically no, because those never actually made it far enough to actually lob a formal application to the regulators. Those were turned down because the stockholders of said railroads did not think it was a good idea. Let me go ahead. Let me flip the switch. So, technically, the STB hasn't turned down anything. And whether or not it's against monopoly law remains to be seen. That's for the Surface Transportation Board to decide if they send in an application. So... Which is still a long, long ways off. Okay. Let's see. I no clue where all of my engines are stationed. Who the hell? Okay, here's Bryson. 90 is currently... 90 kind of ate shit the other day. 101 move? Why does 101 have its handbrakes on? Okay. We're gonna go down to Epps Springs and we're gonna haul up the cars from there. Hey, thank you for following Goose Gang 17. Now, do I think that any such merger could be approved? I think the, I would say there's maybe like a 1/3 chance it would be approved, 2/3 it wouldn't be. Because, as I said, I think it in large part rests on the ability of the railroads to deliver an effective political case. If they have a good propaganda campaign, I guess is a way of putting it, then maybe they can convince enough people on the STB board to approve it. But I could certainly see there being enough opposition for this to just be turned down. But as I said, it's still early in the process. They're still just talking. It's still a long way. Everything remains to be seen, I guess, is what I should be saying. Let's see. Okay, let's... Oh, wait. Oh, it's all the West Bryson engines down here. The big cheese and the little guy. Yes, that is a hot pink 040. Okay. Guess we're heading down here now. What I do find kind of funny is that the biggest, and I feel like this is inevitably going to come up if it gets to the point where we're actually having a review before the Surface Transportation Board for this. I do find it funny because for the longest time, the biggest opponent to any more mergers was actually Union Pacific. Union Pacific bought everybody, they didn't buy everybody, but they bought a lot of people. And then when the moment they were on top in like the early 2000s, they said, nope, no more mergers. We think this is good enough because they were on top then. The whole reason why, like, part of the big reason why Surface Transportation Board rewrote the merger rules and put like a halt to things, temporary halt to things after BNSF and Canadian National tried to merge was because Union Pacific exerted so much political pressure in Washington that they're like, they basically got the regulators to rewrite the rules. And now, 20 years later, they're going to be the ones to try and maybe to basically overcome the very strict merger rule set that they basically helped put in place, which is the height of irony. I think the CPKC merger rattled Union Pacific a little. Yeah, I think that's the case too. I think they spooked Union Pacific into becoming, I guess, a bit less complacent. Which is really interesting because, like, this is almost a dead mirror of what happened in the late 70s. Where Union Pacific, in the late 70s were Union Pacific was a pretty well-run railroad then, but they were sort of, like, okay, they weren't really interested in potentially expanding out, because, this was in the aftermath of the whole Rock Island debacle, where Union Pacific just wasn't, as I said, it was like, buying people, probably not the best right now. And they're like, why would we buy people anyways? We're basically at the top of the railroad heap. But then you had Southern Pacific come in and buy the Golden State route off of when the Rock Island went under, and then Frisco was absorbed by the Burlington Northern, although some people would say it's the other way around. And Union Pacific they're like, oh shit, we gotta do something, and that's how they got the MOPAC in the Western Pacific. And of course, then they bought the Katy and the Chicago Northwestern, and then Southern Pacific, obviously. And then, as I said, they were on top, so they kind of became complacent again. And then CPKC happened, and they're like, oh shit. Oh, let's see. Well, CPKC was unique in the fact that for the first time a single entity spans all three North American companies. That is a huge advantage CP has after swiping KCS. Yeah, it is. Although I can't help but feel, but in any, like, East-West merger scenario, the Canadians are probably going to be the ones to lose out the most. Which is why I think they're going to ask for a whole bunch of concessions if it happens. Let's see. BNSF almost, for a minute there, it was actually looking like BNSF was going to go into Mexico. So apparently there was this mystery third bidder for Kansas City Southern, that was mentioned in a couple of, like, FEC or SEC filings, Security and Exchange Commission's filings, and then you basically had Warren Buffett come out and say, I think the Canadian railroads are paying way too much for KCS, and then within, like, one of the, I guess, paperwork that BNSF filed when CPKC was going through its review process, they're like, yeah, we're actually interested in getting a Mexican concession. And it's like, well, I guess they're going to Mexico. They want to go to Mexico now. But I think that scheme might have just fizzled out because we haven't heard anything about it in like 3 years. So BNSF to Mexico, while a very, very funny thought, is probably not going to happen anytime soon. Although I could be entirely wrong. Is one little 080 going to be enough to lug that many cars? The answer is almost inevitably no, but I'm going to try anyways. I might need to get, like, a second engine down here or something. I also could just do it in 2 steps. I don't have to lug all of this up all at once. Actually, that might be the way to go, because most of this is just Bryson cars. Yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna do it. Oh, let's see. BNSF extremely spooked and having talks of their own just in case. Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that's happening. I think BNSF, though, is kind of just waiting to see what happens. I think they're letting Union Pacific kind of go out and try and be the forefront of this, so if it fizzles out, BNSF isn't committed towards anything. But if Union Pacific decides to go all in, then they'll also go all in with CSX as well. And, you know, because I don't think BNSF wants to jump the gun, because as I said, if all of this fizzles out and we just don't hear of any of this again, like, as I said, BNSF isn't committed towards anything, so they can just keep on being BNSF. So, this is a very scenic part of the railroad. I'd imagine when this, obviously this section right here isn't. I mean, it was real, but there wasn't a yard here. This was the original line, through the reservoir up here, and then they later, when they did the dam, the Fontana Dam, they rerouted it over the mountain, I think. I don't think that is any sort of possibility. I do not think that is on the minds of anyone within any railroad headquarters ever. Because with NS, UPNS, and BNSF CSX, those mergers are mostly end-to-end. There's very little overlap. And so you can make the reasonable case that if those two merge, there's still, like, basically the same level of competition that there is now. But any hypothetical CSX-NS merger would create just such a blatant monopoly. Like, there's no way of getting around that. So, I don't think that's the case at all. Okay. Siemens Lumber. Okay. I don't know why I did that right there. I think the thing to do is actually to uncouple right there. Complete side note, but I should really... I need to clean things tomorrow. Yeah. 8:22. I need to clean my house tomorrow. Well, mostly just my room and my bathroom, but that's besides the point. It's also weird, because a complete other side note, but Uh, it feels weird not, because normally I'd be getting ready to go to bed by this point. It's because I would have work early in the morning, but it's the weekend, so I don't have to do that. And that feels weird now. Ugh. I've also conditioned myself to be, like, tired at, like, 8 o'clock, which is why I'm yawning a bunch. I'm still giggling at the thought of seeing NS units with UP patches. Yeah. That would be kind of funny. Alrighty. Plonk. Okay, do I have clearance? Kind of. Let me see, can I overrule these? Yeah, oh wait, just a little bit. Okay, back it up. There we go. Where is... Okay, here's a question. Where is... Oh, there's a fuse here. Okay. Let me go ahead and get rid of that fuse. Like, why isn't my train going? Why isn't he just moving right along? Where is... Yeah, let's get back to 101. All this just makes me want to work on my fictional railroad more. But I need to make the video, the Shortline Rail News and Comment video. Episode 15. I feel like I kind of have to make it now because, you know, it's like... Part of the reason is at the end of the Classy Whale contest, when I was announced as the winner, he was like, I'm excited to see what video content you make in the future. And I'm like, well, I got something coming up. The quickest script I ever wrote. But, yeah. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to haul the West Bryson cars up first, and then we're going to come back down for everything else. Okay. JNPT number 101. And... Blunk. Okay. Alrighty, we are joeing. Also planning to see Milwaukee Road 261. It's announced it's finally coming out of its hidey hole for October for excursions. Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, out on the Twin Cities and Western. The nearest Steam to me is actually I just saw the nearest Steam to me, which is the stuff up at TVRM. 4501 and 630. I really need to go back. Take a shot every time I yawn. I really need to go back and see 630 because it's up for its 1472 in October, and it's in all likelihood that thing isn't going to be running again for another 15 years. My friend Jack was talking to some of the guys up there because he got a cab ride in 630 because it was the first steam locomotive he ever saw. So he's like, I want to get a cab ride in it before it's, you know, retired. He was talking to some of the guys, and they're like, yeah, our plan is TVRM's plan is to convert everything to oil. Welcome aboard, my nuts itch. That is a name and a half. Um, he was like, uh, dang it, I lost my train of thought. Um, sorry, my nuts itch. This is a private save between me and my friends, but none of them are here right now. And we've maxed out. It's only for me and my close friends. I don't really let anyone onto here. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so Tennessee Valley Road Museum wants to convert everything to oil, and they said it's probably just easier to restore 610 and convert it to oil than to do a quick restoration of 630 and convert it to oil. So there's a chance that they might actually end up restore 610. Um, put that thing back in service, which is that'll be fun. I'm pretty sure that's the first. It's either 610 or like the little 040 they have at Georgia State in Savannah was the first like in steam locomotive I've ever seen. But like a steam locomotive that's actually running. Okay. My brother works there. TVRM? Hey, nice, nice. Yeah, I was talking about how I was just there. The last Somerville excursion, me and my friends chased it. How I need to go back up there and get a cab ride in 630 before, the 1472. Let's see. Okay. Okay. You know what I need? I need a bottle of water, but I'll get that in a little bit. Not right now. But okay, BM 1750, NYO and W. Yeah, so we're just gonna drop the cars here, and then we're gonna head back and grab the rest of the shit for Bryson. Hopefully I don't have to enlist help from the West Bryson industrial engines right here. The big cheese and the little guy. This thing is so silly. What's the this whole thing is only $2,000. How many of these 040s do I need to make it up red marble? That'd be extraordinarily funny, but that's something for like a fuck around sandbox save. Dog cam, yes, dog cam. You preferably need 7 for like 5 loaded cars. Yeah, probably. Here is dog cam. Here are my dogs. There is Bear. Well, that's Leo. And then that's Bear over there. They are sleeping because they come in my bed and they sleep. Fun fact, I don't even sleep in my own bed. They're the only ones who sleep in their own bed. I sleep in the guest bedroom because, when I'm home with my parents for the summer, like I am right now when I'm not off at college, my bedroom has terrible air circulation. It's always hot in here. But the guest room has good air circulation, and it's cold at night, and I can only sleep in the cold. So I sleep in there, so they're the only ones who sleep in here. Same, my dogs take over my bed. Yeah, they tend to do that. Bear, the big one. Bear. Okay, never mind. Bear, the big one back there. He likes to sleep in the middle of the bed, all sprawled out. He also weighs like 100 pounds and snores like a motherfucker, so he is very difficult to sleep with. I can't sleep with my dogs. I can't. They typically normally sleep in my parents' room. But Bear also He also gets nightmares fairly often. So the way he sleeps is he'll put your head right next up against your head. He wants his head right up against your head, which sucks, because he snores so loud. But it also sucks because he will get nightmares. And he will, like, bark and growl in the middle of his nightmares. And then sometimes it spooks him thoroughly enough where he will wake up and he will, like, try and bite whatever, I don't know, like, monster or whatever is coming at him in his dream. And sometimes he will almost bite you. We joke that he's actually dreaming of showers because Bear loves to bark at the shower. He does not like showers, this little creature right here. And the shower doesn't even need to be on. All he needs to do is, if he walks past the bathroom and see that you're going in, he will freak out and start barking at the shower. It's really funny. Okay. Has the, No, he's still on his way. I have an RS1 with, all of the cars from, East Whittier headed to Bryson, because the way we do things on this railroad is we take all the cars from Epps Springs, all the cars from East Whittier, bring them to Bryson, sort them all out there, and then, dispatch various trains to their locations. And normally there would be other people to help me with this, but no one's available today other than me. Let me know if your guys going to make a server. I mean, I have a Discord server, but I don't when it comes to Railroader, it's just me. It's me and my close friends. Only. I don't really do open up Railroader games to the public. So, maybe that'll be something I do at one point. There is an idea that's been floating around in my head though, where it's like Railroader Olympics, where say you get the double track mod, and you have to race from one end of the railroad to the other. Hello, Crimson. Welcome in. Yes, I have done that. Yeah, I need to do that. Another thing that I've been thinking of is almost like a Velfisk-style torture game, but in Railroader, where, say you have, a task you need to complete, but you have to spin a wheel every, I don't know, 10 minutes, and you get some, weird penalty, or whatever. Oh yeah, you only have to use, porters or whatever, and it's 2 teams, and they have to compete. Maybe I can factor that into the Railroader Olympics. Spin the wheel of punishment. The wheel of the worst. Okay. I'll be all in. That would be really fun. Open it up to more people. Get into teams. Restricting Bryson East. Wait a second. Why are you... Well, you're coming in because... Well, he's almost there, so... Where he needs to be. Okay. And once that train has arrived, I can send the passenger train out to, Germany's making a nuclear-powered train. Have not heard of that, no. Okay. Clunk. This is completely unsorted, by the way. The American-powered nuclear tank. Yeah, that thing. Or, hold up. Why am I suddenly blanking on it? Oh, yeah, the nuclear B-36. The frickin' NB-36. Have you, yeah, this thing. Uh... Let's see if nuclear-powered bombers are viable. So let's cram a nuclear reactor in the back of a frickin' B-36 Peacemaker and just see what happens. Gosh, I love Convair. Cold War science gone mad. Because this was a part of this was almost a demo run for this thing, which was Project Pluto, which was an attempt to develop a nuclear ramjet. This got to the point of testing. That's a actual test engine. They incidentally tested it at Jackass Flats, which is the same area where they also tested the Nerva nuclear rocket engine. So... It's, truly, truly something. But anyways, that's what that reminds me of. Okay. Convair truly was one of the corporations of all the defense contractors of all time. They really were. Only the people that would say, yeah, we can cram a nuclear reactor into a B-36, you know, that's fine. We can make a rocket whose shell is thinner than a slice of paper and still have it work. Let's see. Trying to find someone to play Railroad with because I got blamed for derailing Pasture Train, but I didn't, and it was just one kid. I see. Is it like a... You're on like a public Railroader server? I know that there are... Like, Pat ran one for a brief period, but it was like a... It was a 24-hour Railroader server that was modded to hell and back. It had like every industry mod, the double track mod, the hump yard mod, just all of that. My microphone almost fell off my desk, but that's besides the point. I can't wait till we get to the point in the game where the development history of this game where we do actually start getting other maps. That'll be really, really cool. I'm getting a bit tired though. I don't know how long. As I said, I didn't think this would be a very long stream because I do feel slightly under the weather. I want to make Roland's Pass in this game because I want to watch people suffer. That would be very, very funny. I would play that map. If you're gonna make Roland's Pass, then someone has to make the frickin' Denver, South Park, and Pacific 2660s. No, not Denver, South Park, and Pacific. Denver and Salt Lake. Why am I confusing all of my railroads? Colorado railroads. Um... Why am I... Denver North... Did I really confuse the Denver, South Park, and Pacific with the Denver Northwestern and Pacific? Yeah, okay. Uh... The frickin' Moped Road. You know what I'm talking about. What's with Colorado and just the most insane railroad builders? David Moffett, Otto Mears... I love how Otto Mears, at some point, just got sick of building these railroads out in Colorado. Like, these narrow-gauge railroads, which had torturous routes, half of which could only be open for, like, 6 months because of the snow. And he just kinda screwed off back to Washington, D.C. and built a comfy little interurban Chesapeake Beach Railway. Which did actually... Well, Chesapeake Beach Railway only lasted, like... Didn't last too long, but part of it ended up surviving as the East Washington Railroad, which is one of my favorite little parts of Washington, D.C. train lore, railroad lore. That probably deserves its own video, but just not right now. Okay. While we are slowly struggling up this hill, I guess we can check in on the dogs. They're doing the same thing. They're still sleeping. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I need to gain speed because I'm about to hit a hill. Bonk. It's the TF2 pan sound effect. I need to play more TF2. I need to play more KSP. Well, if I do end up starting a KSP Forever save, then maybe I'll stream that. I should join you in TF2. Now that is something you can actually join me in when I do it, because it is a public thing in the server so long as you follow certain rules. Like stream rules. But I haven't had like the I haven't had the desire to play TF2 in quite a bit. However, the MVM update is supposedly coming out this summer, so yeah, hopefully at that point. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I was checking my phone. I got the Subway Surfer's attention span. I've been running a coal focus save with friends. West of Bryson is lightly modded. Sylvan Interchange got expanded. And of course got Kirkland. Got an S1 for loading the hoppers. And then put one of the eastbound exit tracks where it takes up empties. This is their backup. I got 2 D8 John Allens for the constant coal trains. And 5 other locomotives for the manifest, local, and other switching. That is cool, because obviously with the save we're just trying to do everything, but having a more focused save, like that, yeah, I haven't seen too many people really do that. Leo is barking Wait, there he goes. There he goes. Something has alerted him. Up, he wants to go out. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. Okay, we are back. I love how Leo freaked out, but Bear continues to sleep because that is just how Bear rolls. He is a bear. Where's dog cam? Okay, there we go. I needed to sort things. Oh yeah, I guess at this point what I can do is I can actually let the pasture train go. Let's see. Le passenger train. There we go. Extinguish that. And then at this point, let's see, Whittier. Yeah, I will never not voice my desire for an interurban map in this game. That would be the greatest thing imaginable. Okay. An interurban map would be so cool. Oh, wait, hold up. The dog wants to come back in. Okay, I am back again. Come on, idiot, move. The decapods can handle 4,000 tons in Cowie if you're careful with the cutoff, although I do have a helper that sits in the Barker's pulpit siding just in case. Ah, okay. Yes, that is something I would want to do one of these days, a more, I guess, rigid operation plan, more sort of set operation plan, compared to this save where it's just like, who wants to do this job? Alright, you go do this and do it however the hell you want, in whatever time you want to get it done. Just, yeah, less ad hoc operations, I would say. Okay. I always like the idea, and Spinner, I think you've shared this before, but like fast freight operations, I know that's something I think you've done, I think you've talked about it before. But honestly, I have so many different things, like, I just don't have the time. What am I doing? Sorry if I'm giving anyone, like, dizziness. I'm also testing a version of Save where instead of having silver, I never got the interchange, and is at Andrews. It'll be a true challenge, just the train wait and the length of the journey. One save that okay, so I actually started, one of the other miscellaneous saves that I actually did start is, Instead of going to Bryson, I started off at Silva, which is the default locomotives, which proved to be quite the challenge. I went ahead and... what is it? I bought the P-18 Pacific, because what it is, I sold the caboose, I got up enough money to buy Silva and the shops there, and then I immediately went and bought the P-18. And that was fairly interesting to do, because this is actually not a short run. So... no, because, everyone initially just goes for Bryson, but, Okay. In the yard? Okay, let's see. If you're doing an Andrews interchange, start give her some decently powerful stuff, not insane, like the C40, C46, D50, 835, etc. Yeah, all the more powerful locomotives. Now, I did see someone... sorry, I was just checking something real quick. I did see someone who immediately just took out a bunch of loans and immediately bought the frickin' Big Emma. The, B65. Which is really funny. I don't know why you would ever need to do that. But, I did just realize, how the hell am I gonna switch this out properly? Actually, hold up. Let me go ahead and just stop right here. And then what I can do is I'll run around this train and we'll shove everything in the back. Let's see. Yeah, let me run around this and then shove the train back in, because I don't want to trap my switcher on the other side and then have to do like a frickin' either get out another engine or do a double saw-by. Now, that is something I've never done before. Frickin' double saw-by maneuver. It's something I think I would want to do... It's something that I would probably want to do, like, once. But just to see. Sorry, I got utterly distracted again. But, just to say that I've done it, and just to experience it. But other than that, it's... other than that, nope. Oh shit, I've trapped myself, kind of. Oh, and I also knocked myself off the track. Okay. Okay, I think we're gonna run around this train, shove back. I think we're gonna run around this train, shove back, and then we're gonna be done for today. Only 85% condition, that's fine. Okay, move forward. Arrived at Ella, nice, nice. Also continuing my big main modern Andrews interchange, only save with all the modern diesel mods. I got a really good roster now. SD40 and Beeman's Patreon, so it's nice to have those playing alongside my C40s and SD60s. Nice, nice. So, you know the Jeep 49? I think it was an only, like, who bought Jeep 49s? I know this was a thing that existed. Let's see. Oh, the Alaska Railroad. Okay. And then the Southern bought some Jeep 39Xs that were later upgraded to Jeep 49s. So yeah, the Alaska Railroad bought Jeep 49s, but apparently they also pitched an SD 49, which is okay. I've actually seen these before out on the Alaska Railroad. I went to Alaska in 2019 on a school trip, and I got to see some Alaskan Railroad stuff, which was pretty nice. Got to ride it for a short bit, not too far, but I did get to ride it. A lot of bus driving on that trip, but that's besides the point. Kirschblunk. Okay, I just need to move this forward, like, just a teensy bit. Unfortunately, oh no, it won't take too long for the train break to... Yeah, I just looked it up. The only buyer for the Jeep 49 was the Alaska Railroad. And then some of them went, like, second-hand to various places. Okay, so apparently this is where the Jeep 49s ended up. They ended up on Cincinnati East Terminal Railway, Chilean freight operator Ferronor, which is, of course, South America, Columbia Rail on the Columbia Walla Walla Railway, and Tri-Rail, which bought the Jeep 39s that the Southern upgraded to Jeep 49s. And apparently the ones in Chile are in, like... They're, like, in a CSX YN2 scheme, but swap out the gray for, like, a light shade of baby blue. Like... Hold up. Like, look at this. Look at this shit. This is hilarious. It's just, yeah. That's, that is... Okay, it's not like... Yeah, it's nearly YN2. It's YN2. That is quirky. I mean, it's South America. Yeah, Jeep 39X, that's the Southern version. And then here are the Tri-Rail versions. Oh, of course, and some ended up on... Is that a fictional? I don't know. From what I remember, I don't think NDAM had these. But that is a cool scheme, though, right there. Okay, let's go ahead and run around my stupid train and shove it into the yard, and then we will be good for tonight. Okay. Rain break. There we go. And now we just need to run around this whole stupid thing. Do 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 do. Oh, let's see. I'm just checking. I'm like the only one playing Railroader, so. Money equals funny. Money equals funny indeed, Berkshire Maniac. This is true. Is there anyone out there who models South American railroads in HO scale? South American railroads. HO scale. Patagonia layout. Like, I feel like that'd be a pretty unique, like, thing to model. Because so much of South America has just American prototypes. Like, Americans, like, sixth-hand American locomotives. So, I feel like you could, if you were a fairly proficient modeler, you could just buy, like, scale train stuff and just, or whatever, and, like, redecorate it. Oh, I forgot to flip that switch, I'm an idiot. Or, like, some railroad in Brazil or something. The Nickel Plate Road PA that the Delaware Lackawanna has now finally running. Yes, I did see, and it's now being used on freight trains. I did not know that part. That is very cool. Okay, pulling in. Gonna couple up. Have the trains into the yard, and then we will be... I think I'll be done for today when it comes to the Railroader, because I still gotta send Spud the mod list, because they're gonna put together a mod pack for me for my forever save in Kerbal Space Program, that I guess I'm now gonna try and do. And then... yeah, I don't know what else. I guess... I don't know, maybe I'll, like, clean my bathroom or something before I go to bed. Because about now is the time I'd normally be in bed, ready to sleep. Oh, Leo is closer to the camera. Leo. Trying to pet him. No. He's pretty sleepy too. Yeah, afterwards, they're doing that to give it a bit of stress test. Afterwards, it's going to be used on the special trains and OCS trains. Nice. PAs are cool. I have a couple of PAs on HO scale. A pair of Cotton Belt ones and a pair of Southern Pacific ones. The Southern Pacific ones are in Bloody Nose, and the Cotton Belt ones are in Daylight, so... Alarka Fuel R1. Okay, so after this, we should be all good for today, at least. No idea when my next stream is going to be after this. Probably, I mean, if I'm editing a video, probably not for a little bit, because I want to focus my time and energy on that. The only reason why I'm doing this stream today is because I said I would, so I put it on the schedule. Okay, that's a lot of cars for Bryson. I think most of the cars on the railroad at this point are headed to Bryson in some, or West Bryson in some form or another. There was like a dozen industries down there, so yeah. Okay, there we go. Stop. There we go. Tie down some of the brakes. Did we manage to fit this into the siding? No, we did not. Okay, in that case, I'm going to uncouple that. Just to make things a little bit easier, I'm going to put them into the next siding over. And then we will be done. Oh, let's see. Okay, come to a stop. Of course, I came to a stop too early. Just a tad bit too early. Okay, now it's time to back up. Howdy, hello, Bunkrill. You joined in at the exact end of the stream. I'm actually about to end the stream, but thank you for joining nonetheless. Played Railroader today, talked about, well, the recent industry news, and a bajillion other things, but okay. Robinson Gap Coal. Well, this is a complete mess of a yard. We're gonna have our work cut out for us next time I play, but I will actually have other people to play with me at that point, so it will be less of a pain in the ass. Let me check something real quick. No. Okay, so I think at this point, I think I'm just gonna end the stream here. 1 hour 40 minutes is about how long I think I would go. I was actually trying to find people to play, just got this today. Well, Bunkrill, with my save, it's mostly just me and my close friends, so... But if you are looking... Actually, I should have told my nuts itch also this earlier, because he was also asking. The Railroader Discord, you could probably find people in the Railroader Discord. As I said, I mostly only just play this game with my close friends who, unfortunately, none of them could make it tonight. I could... Here, let me toss a link for that in chat. Copy. Okay, hold up. Yeah, they're... Yeah, that's the official Discord for the game. That's actually how I found Pat to help us join. So, one of my friends, I found him in there, and we became friends through this game. So, I would recommend looking there. But I'm gonna end the stream. And also, Bronco, I hope you best of luck with Railroader. This game is a it is very fun, it is very relaxing, and it is a massive time sink, so beware. But anyways, I think I'm going to end the stream today. There's no one I can really raid right now. Is anyone else playing Railroader? None of these people... No, I'm the only one playing Railroader, and no one, like, is really streaming. Yes, it is. Have a good one, yes. But, thank you all for watching. I don't know when my next stream is going to be. Probably not this weekend, but we'll see. Tune in next Friday, of course, for more Railroader, and probably one stream before then, but I'm not too sure. But thank you, Brunkhill, Spinner Tornado 94, Berkshire Maniac, my Nuts Edge also for watching and following, and Brunkhill for also following just now too. Crimson, Spud, Goose Gang 17 also for the follow, Gamwolfers, SR Driver 1965, who I think also followed. All is Glory. Who else? That's it. For all watching, and I will see y'all in the next one, whenever that may be. Goodbye, everybody.